Welcome back. Stasa 23 here, back again with some knife therapy. Although this is not going to be knife therapy today. We're in the month of September, and September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. And also, the month of September is kind of a tough time for me. For those of you who don't know, I was involved in a bad chemical plant explosion in September of 2015. And I want to share my story with y'all of my struggles, my pain, depression, and in hopes that it might help one of y'all, get through the day or something. I mean, I don't know. I saw my good buddy Slicey Dicey, Nick Shabazz, both of them did a video, and it helped me. So, especially right now with the world, everything that's going on in the world in 2020, a lot of people are dealing with economic hardships and stuff like that. And, I try to stay positive, but that doesn't mean that I don't struggle day to day. So I'm just going to share a little bit about my story. This is my wife, Miss Stasa 23, and she'll be chiming in here and there throughout the story. So on September 3rd of 2015, like I said, I was blown up in a chemical plant explosion, and I was burned 80% of my body. They put me in a medical-induced coma for 6 days, and when I woke up out of that coma, I kind of came to the realization that, I was in a lot of pain. I was just, my world was turned upside down, and I knew that I was going to have to fight every day, and I was going to need my family and the nurses there and everybody there to get me through each second of the day. I was fortunate to wake up to my wife being there, and she stayed by my side the entire time. They gave me like a 2% chance to live. And at this point, I didn't really, I didn't comprehend how bad things were as far as physical, my mental, and what was to come. And I did a lot of fighting, a lot of struggling. My wife had to see stuff I would never wanted a wife to see. My family, it was very, very difficult. I got close to the Lord. I was always, I had a religious background. I don't really talk about that on this channel because I keep that stuff separate. That's for me to, whatever I decide. But I ended up being in the hospital for about, 3 months?
About 3.5, yeah.
About 3.5 months. I think I got home, was it before Christmas?
Right before Christmas.
Right before Christmas, so Merry Christmas to me. And mainly because I didn't want to be in that hospital anymore. I wasn't able to see my daughter for 2 months of it?
About 2 months.
Because she wasn't able to be in the ICU. I was in ICU for 2 months. She was too young, so it was just things I was starting to battle with every day. The pain was unbearable. It was unbearable for a very long time. The fact that my life was never going to be the same. I would never go back to the same job. I may never work again. And you don't realize how bad you miss something like that until it's gone. I felt, worthless. I felt nothing to push me because, I felt like I couldn't provide for my family, so, it really rocked me. So I get out of the hospital 3 months later, still have open wounds in my body. I have a caregiver at the house. I have a nurse that comes every day. And it was kind of embarrassing. It was just felt, my pride was taken away, my faith, everything at that point in my life just felt like it was going further and further down a rabbit hole, and I was secluding myself from everybody. I really couldn't go outside anyway, so I didn't want to talk to anybody because, I felt worthless. Um, so time went on, and I'm sure I wasn't the nicest person to my wife, and I'm sure she wanted to slap me sometimes, but I was struggling with not only the pain of these burns that had to be scrubbed daily, and just I had infections, staph infection. I had a very bad infection when I got home. I was having to go to the hospital to go to wound care every now and again to make sure everything was looking okay. And I was having problems with my skin healing for some reason. It took me a year for all my skin to close up, which was not normal. And I can promise you every day of that year, I was in pretty immense pain. It got a little better day by day, but it was probably after a year of that, then several years of physical therapy, that I was able to start getting around. But kind of jumping ahead, so at this point, I'm very depressed. I'm feeling like I'm not a man anymore because I can't help my daughter. I can't help my family, my kids. I can't do things for my wife that a man does. I can't provide a paycheck, from a job. And all that stuff started piling onto my shoulders. Just, make me feel like, I don't know, just the worst you could possibly feel. And at this time, I'm seeing counselors. I'm talking to people. I am, discussing some of it with my wife, the stuff that I wasn't totally embarrassed to talk about or ashamed, or, the list goes on. But I used every outlet possible, and it still wasn't really, beside, if my family wasn't here, I don't know what I've done. So one day my neighbor calls me up out of the blue whenever I'm starting to be able to get outside some, and he said, "Hey, we're good friends with our neighbors," and he said, "Hey, why don't you and your wife come over? I want you to meet somebody that I'd already known." But he said, "I want you to come talk to him. I found out that he likes knives too." So he piqued my interest, of course. It's knives. My wife can tell you I love knives. And I decided to go over there that day. And that person that I went to meet, a lot of you who've been tuned to my channel for a while know of him. It is Copper Dice, or as I know it, Sam. I ended up talking to him that night, and we became friends. The more we hung out, and how deep he saw my passion for the hobby of knives, everything about him, he persuaded me. He said, "Why don't you start a YouTube channel?" And I said, "Nah, I don't like talking on a camera. I get nervous." I don't think it's for me. Well, he's very persistent, very persistent, and he talked me into it. On February 10th of 2017, I posted my first video. Absolute garbage. But one thing that I found out is it was an outlet for me and a missing part of my life that enabled me to channel pain, channel, depression, and what I couldn't handle any longer. I could talk to you guys. My wife had a part. She kept me grounded, and I look to y'all for uplifting, I guess you'd say. So that's why I started my channel, and I must say, for me, not being that this isn't the only thing. Like I said, talk to somebody. If it's a brother, cousin, or friend. Sometimes it's easier to talk to a friend because you're embarrassed to talk to someone who's close to you, or you don't want them to judge you, or I don't know. But talking to somebody is so important. I mean, just me talking to a camera is a huge help for me. My dog may bark. I'm sorry. I can't really stop him. But me talking to a camera and reading your comments and the uplifting stuff y'all say, and of course I have trolls on the channel sometimes. I try not to let them bother me. Life gives you that no matter what you do. But I think the basis of what I'm trying to get out of this is that I didn't want to be depressed, and nobody chooses to be depressed. I had to do what I had to do as far as talking to you guys and my wife, my kids, friends. Copper Dice, he's been there. He's been a rock for me. He comes over, hangs out. And this also goes for people who may not be depressed, but you might know somebody. Everybody knows somebody that's struggling in life. Reach out to them, give them a call.
That's what I was going to say, is that, I think that everybody goes through hard times, and I think that it's sometimes extremely difficult, and we feel maybe less of a person, or we feel that we're weak if we happen to express that or talk about that. I know for me, I didn't go to Nick and talk about because his accident happened to him, but it obviously happened to our whole family, and I was just in caretaker mode, mom mode, work mode, just trying to take care of everything, and didn't really stop. And then when I did stop, it was bad. It was basically hyperventilating in a corner in the closet because I didn't know what to do with myself, because I had never really dealt with what was going on, because I was trying to just take care of everybody and everything. And it hit me super, super hard. And of course I didn't want to go to him because, he has all these other things that he's going through. So I need to be there for him, and I didn't want to put any more burden on him. And so for me, I lean super heavy on my faith, and my friends, just people who would listen. And I think that there's so many people hurting in this world, right underneath our noses, like right, the people that we know and love and do life with every day. And sometimes we don't know that they're hurting. So I think that it's such an important thing to talk about. And some people don't have family, and that's, tragic, but I do think that friends can make that for you and be that family. So not even if you're hurting and not even the people who are hurting but I obviously suggest that you reach out to someone, and do what Nick did, find an outlet. I have seen this man go from, down in despair, literally saying, and I'm going to say this, that there were worse things than dying, and it was living like he lives, or living like he is now. Man, as a wife, to hear that out of your husband's mouth is really, really terrible and hard, and not being able to really be all that I could for him. So I have seen him go from that to this, to being the man who's trying to inspire and uplift other people. There's still super hard days. We have lots of emotions behind all of this, and lots of really difficult times, and things that aren't fair, right, about it, and things that we can't do, and life as we knew it, will never be that same way. But we're grateful, obviously, for the life that we have. And so I've honestly never been more proud that he wanted to do this video. This is very difficult for him, for both of us, but really for him. But I've seen such a change in him, and I feel like his story is going to be such a testimony to so many other people, and not just burn victims or accident victims, but just people who have really sucky things happen in life, that just need to know that there's hope, and need to know that that things do get better, and that you can go on and put one foot in front of the other, and still have a good life, even if it's not the life that you envisioned. We never envisioned this. We never envisioned a lot of the things, that we've had to experience over the last 5 years. But I think that all of that's a part of your story, right? And that it's important to share that, because there's so many people hurting in this world. And like he said, if it helps just one person, I'm definitely not a video girl. I don't like talking on camera. I don't like sharing. It's hard. It's really hard for me. But when he mentioned wanting to do the video, I was all in, because I think it's important, and I'm okay with being a little vulnerable, and maybe a little crazy emotional. And I'm kind of an ugly crier, so hopefully it doesn't get that. But I'm okay with doing that if it helps somebody else, because I think that this topic is obviously super important. And like I said, if it helps one person, then to me, it's basically all worth it.
Yeah. And like I said before, those of you who aren't struggling today, I said, just reach out to somebody that you know that is. And I say this because when I was at my roughest time, I had my friends call, and even though I did not answer their phone calls, it helped knowing that they cared and were trying to reach out to me. Sometimes that got me through my day. So, even if you say, I call him, he's not going to answer me anyway. He might look at that phone and say, I have somebody that cares, You don't ever know what somebody's going through behind closed doors. I try my best not to judge anybody or, look down on anybody. So just try that. Try helping, try calling somebody. And those of you who are struggling, it will get better. And try your hardest to see the good in anything you can. Get yourself an outlet. Talk to somebody. Talk to a lot of people. Do whatever makes you feel good. I found a hobby. The knife hobby's been with me. I've been a knife collector since I was like 7. And I'm 39 now, so I'm not going to do the math there because that wasn't my strong suit. So there you go. That's my story. I hope it even if it reached one person, I accomplished my goal. And I hope everybody is having an excellent day. Anybody who's going through the hurricane in what areas? Alabama, Florida. I hope y'all are safe. I hope you all the best, and that y'all get through this. All right, guys and girls, different type of video today, but more knife content coming later. This is just something important to me and my wife, being that something I struggle with on a day-to-day basis is depression. So, you got anything else?
No, I don't think so.
All right. I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.
Be kind.